barbaric hails from Finland. In this time, actually, we have a couple of Finnish bands in this review, which are now on split release. So, without further ado, let's welcome these bands: Ceremonial, Torture, and Hell Conjurer. Now, those of you who are familiar with the bands coming from Bestial Burst probably are familiar with these bands already, at least Hell Conjurer, which has been featured on the channel before. This one-man band is now accompanied with another Finnish one-man project, which is previously a demo-only band, with the exception of one earlier split release. So it seems the circles are rather small because all the same bands are pretty much doing the stuff with each other. Anyway, here he is with A5 size digibook created by Bestial Worst and Right for Revenge Hell Kettunen, the man behind the label and Right for Revenge. So, Ceremonial Torture is with a couple of tracks: My Dragon Path Under the Starlight. What a role-playing title! And Eve of the Crimson Hearted. Well, sounds like fantasy metal to me as well. Now, Hell Conjurer here is just fallen and erected. Sounds kind of a sexual nature. Well, maybe it's just me and my dirty mind, but here it is. And this is how it looks inside. Obviously, we're going to remove this CD as well, so you're going to see the insides of the release as well. As you can see, Hell Conjurer is once again without his shirt. It seems he wants to show his pumped up upper body. Well, that is obviously if you don't have anything bigger in comparison going to the gym, and you'll find bigger guys, but still beats the crap out of most metal people anyway with his size. No, so that's enough about the outer ears. I mean, how it looks and all that stuff. So we'll put the CD right here back on its place and let's talk about the music. Now, Hell Conjurer is pretty much, I would say, known to you already because obviously you do watch these reviews, and as such you know it's kind of a barbaric one-man black metal project with kind of a mid-tempo and not too gimmicky stuff there. And this unfortunately is not on par with the, well, at least the latest full-length album. But it's pretty much what you could expect from the band. Kind of a one-trick thing in a way of being kind of a mid-tempo one. But there are no weird-ass gimmickeries. There are no going to say off-road with the genre. It is kind of a simple and truthful black metal in a way that you might be expecting from, Finnish boundaries of barren lands and whatever. Now, this Ceremonial Torture here is then again a little bit different, and it's at the same time worse and then again the more interesting one on this split. The thing is, it's basically very much the same style as with Hell Conjurer. That is kind of a mid-tempo, very bass-driven, bass guitar. I don't mean the drums, that is. No kick drums whatsoever. So it's very bass-driven stuff, and as such it's kind of interesting. It's kind of related to Barathrum in the terms of, how bass guitar can actually lead the way. But the funny thing is, and I want to underline the word funny, is that how the synths are incorporated in the music, because it's much like 1990s video games, especially the early years, that is almost like 1980s, the kind of a crappy one-man project synths which are put here. One could even say they are related to dungeon synths in a kind of an idea how they are done. And while there's some parts they actually made to fit quite well, they also make the whole thing sound kind of a little bit humorous. I mean, it is more like, why do you do that kind of a thing, rather than, hey, it's not a nice and creative use of synths. Now, obviously, some people who are more into dungeon synth and the stuff, and who don't mind it's not very well produced or doesn't sound orchestrated, but rather plastic, that is very old school synthesizer sounds, they might actually like this very, very much. But on the other hand, if you seem rather, say, allergic to that kind of synth use, this may be just sounding way too funny, and not in a good way, I might add. So it totally depends where you are coming from. I couldn't enjoy these synths because it brings me memories about my computer games, and while I did enjoy them, I still like gaming, by the way. I just can't put these sense here and like be serious at the same time because it, to me, it sounds like it's a kind of a funny project, like a kind of a goofy thing, and I'm not a big fan of goofy music. But anyway, here it goes. It depends where you're coming from. Hell Conjurer might be the boring one on this one, but I would say it's the better one. Now, the overall result here is I think the cover and the packaging looks better than what the music sounds like. So it's kind of a brutal thing to say. It's not bad, but I think the overall result is a little mediocre. So you really have to be into kind of a barbaric and simple black metal in order to just enjoy this one. And if you don't, well, can't really blame ya. But here it is in a nice package, so should you be interested in the band, this is a good way to get to like them a little bit more, or then hate a little bit more. There you have it. Go check out the samples and figure out for yourself. See ya and take care.